Hey everybody, it's Moonbo here, and welcome back to more Endless Scrap Mechanic. Now, I am very excited for today's video because there is a new modded part on the workshop, and you can see it right here, guys. This is the tank track. This is an amazing modded part. It was created by MJM, and you can find it in the sci-fi mod. So you might have already had the mod installed, and you didn't realize that that is where these tank tracks are. So in this video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up these tank tracks for yourself, and we're also going to check out a really cool bulldozer that uses the tracks. It's a really awesome build. I'm really excited, guys, so let's get started. Alright, so first I'm going to show you just how easy it is to use the tank track mod. So in my inventory, I've got the tank tracks right here, just like so. I also have the tank motor. Now this is a very important component. You have to use the tank motor with the tank track so that it all works properly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am just going to lay down a quick platform here. Now obviously, guys, if you're going to use these tank tracks, you're probably going to want to build something a little more creative than just a flat platform, but this is just to show you how easy it is. Now, I've got my platform here. I have the tank track selected, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to find a spot maybe around here. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put the tank track right there, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side right here. So there you go. Now we have tank tracks on either side. And this might seem like a really simple build. You know, it's just a platform with the tank tracks here, but honestly, it already looks like a tank. But now that we have the tank track set up to our platform, the next thing you're going to want to do is you are going to want to put a seat down somewhere, of course, so that you can actually drive your tank. So I'm going to put a seat right there, and I'm going to put the tank track motor just behind it like so. Now each tank track has its own connection point. So you can see here with the wire tool, I can grab the tank track and I can drag it around. Now, normally you would drag it over to the motor, but before you do that, you want to make sure that the motor knows which tank track is which. And it's really simple to do that. All you have to do is press your use key on the tank track and you will see a little HUD display come up showing you which setting you're on. So I'm going to press it right now, and there you go. So now it's reading that this tank track is the right tank track, but obviously that is not the case. It is actually the left tank track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it again, and you're going to see a few different options. Now these are things that you can use while you're building your own tank track creations in a lot of different ways, but there you go. That is now designated as our left tank track, which is right. Well, correct, I should say. And then we're going to do this one right here. We're going to press it. Okay, there we go. That one was easy. It is set for the right tank track. So now all you have to do is take each tank track, hook it up to the tank motor, just like so. And once you have both of those set up, you just hook it up to a driver seat or any type of driving block or anything like that. And you hop in, and there you go. Look at that. You have a working tank. In a matter of seconds. You know, I kind of explained it a little bit more, but you can literally build a tank like this now with tank steering in a matter of seconds. It is absolutely impressive. This mod is blowing my mind right now, and I don't even know exactly how it works. Let's do a few tests to show that. So on this little bar right here, I am going to add a few tank tracks. Now, another thing I should mention is you can stack these tracks together like this, and they kind of work as one track. You just have to make sure that they are set the same. And I'm gonna add a switch as well, so that way we can actually just turn on the tank track and not actually have to have a driver's seat. And there you have it. Now you can see the tank track is moving on its own. The wheels are spinning, the track is there, it's going around the entire thing. So you would think to yourself, wow, that looks really cool. If I could hop onto that, it's gonna act like some sort of interesting conveyor belt, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you jump on it, nothing happens. You do not move whatsoever. Now you can see the interaction of the actual tank tracks changing, but that's because it's actually touching a surface and slowing itself down. And I even did testing actually with blocks as well. So if I stack a few blocks just like so and drop them off onto the tracks like so, you can see that they don't move. It doesn't move at all. They don't move it. So it's really weird. I'm trying to wrap my head around how these tank tracks work, and I'm assuming there's a lot more calculation going on than simply a physical movement, right? Because otherwise it would probably end up being extremely laggy. But you can see with those blocks on the track, they slow right down, and that's probably because the tracks think that it is now touching the ground, but in reality, it's only touching these blocks. And then if we get rid of them, you can see it speed back up again. So these tank tracks are definitely a bit of a mystery for me. I do think they work absolutely amazing, but there is still a little bit more to them as well. So like I mentioned though, you can add multiple sets of tracks to the vehicle, which is actually like probably my favorite part. Being able to create these nice, thick, wide tank tracks, they just look so cool. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set these ones up just like so. And then I'm gonna set up the left ones as well. Now with those extra tank tracks, all I have to do is wire them up to the engine just like so. And now we have ourselves some really cool looking extra wide tank tracks. But there is one other thing that is actually very interesting. I haven't even actually tested this, so we're gonna test it right now. If you put a seat on your creation before you start putting your tank parts, it should auto-recognize the direction in which you are going to want to drive. So we're gonna test this right now. I've got my 2 tank tracks on either side. Let's put an engine right there behind the seat. And so as far as I know, they should already be good to go. So I'm gonna wire each tank track to the engine to the driver's seat. Let's drop it down and let's see if it works already. Look at that. It already knows what's left and what is right, and that is because I already put the seat down in the direction I want to go. So that's just a quick little tutorial, guys, to show you how the tank track mod works. Like I said, extremely simple, super easy. You can make a tank in seconds now, and I'm really excited to see the potential in this. Now, last night I spent a decent amount of hours building this bulldozer because I was so excited for these new tank tracks. Now, I said to myself, I guess I should build a tank, but then I realized, no, there's plenty of other things I can build using these tank tracks, and eventually, of course, I will build some tanks using them, but I'm so happy with the way this bulldozer worked out, and I'm really excited to show you guys all of the interesting little details and things that I added to it. So, first things first, we are going to open the door to the bulldozer cab right there. Look at that nice, thin-looking door, and all you have to do is hop up onto the track to get inside. Now, I didn't go crazy with the detail on the interior. I was focusing more on the entire build in general, but we do have a nice little seating space back here, and of course, we have the operator's chair as well. So it's pretty cool, though. You don't have to shut the door behind you. Once you hop into the seat of the bulldozer, the door will shut automatically. So of course, when you get out of the seat, the door opens back up again for you. So now we're in the operator's chair, and we do have a few different controls at our disposal. So number 1 is going to bring up your plow there on the front. You can see it just lifts it up off of the ground. And then 2 is going to extend those pistons right there, so you can extend them out and away. Now this is pretty cool, actually. If we press 4, you can see it opens up the front engine part right there, and you can see there is a little motor with a fan. Looks really cool when it's running. And then we also have some nice and simple interior lighting there. You can see some interior lights as well as the exterior lights on the front. Now this is my favorite part of this build. When you turn the motor on, there is actually like smoke exhaust that comes out of that pipe right there. So let's turn the motor on. There we go. The fan starts spinning, and you can see up top there is smoke coming out of the pipe. So in order to keep the engine safe, of course, we are going to shut that cover back down again. Let's bring the plow back inward. Now, this is a really cool feature. So you can see we have that smoke coming out as if the engine is running. Now, if I press W, though, check what happens. So you can see that the smoke starts coming out faster, and then if I let go of the gas, it goes back down to like a neutral idle animation. And the same is for the reverse. If we go reversed as well, you can see that the smoke speeds up again, and you can hear the engine kind of working a little bit harder, and then stopping again puts it back into that neutral position. So if we hop out of the seat, we can take a closer look at what is going on right here. So yeah, there is the motor, the engine with the fan going. Looks absolutely fantastic. And then of course up here we have the exhaust pipe. Now this is actually, I mean, I'm sure you can tell this is actually a spud gun mounted to the top of some pipes. But it's pretty interesting because in order to get that smoke effect to stop right there, what I ended up doing was I put some invisible blocks so you can actually see that those invisible blocks are stopping the spuds from going all the way up into the sky and creating a really nice puff of smoke. Now, the way I did that exhaust is pretty cool, actually, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Now, I'm going to show you how it's working right here by getting rid of those. So here you go. Look at this. We've got all sorts of timers and all sorts of logic going on in there. I can't tell you exactly what is going on. For me, it's a little bit of trial and error, but basically I have the idle animation always running when you turn the motor on. You can see it's just doing this little idle thing. Now, the way it works, though, when you press W and S to accelerate and reverse and get the increased exhaust is found on the bottom of the vehicle. So now if I go back here on the bottom, you can see I have a plate right here. Now, underneath this plate, there are some suspension pieces, this sensor right here, and these actually read your forward movement when you press W or S when you go in reverse. So you can see there it is. It's like a little cross thing. Now, obviously, it's kind of difficult to see what is going on while we're standing under it. So why don't I just kind of lift the entire thing up off of the ground, and that way we'll be able to get an actual better look at that sensor there. So I'm going to turn the exhaust back on, and here we go. You can see and hear the exhaust. So when I press W, you can see the entire thing pushes over to the left. Now, normally there would have been a surface panel right there that would have activated that sensor to trigger the increased speed of the exhaust. And then if I press S, you can see it leans to the right, and then it would have triggered it either way because the whole thing runs off of that sensor when you're accelerating. So I have suspension on either side that just pushes the little sensor back to the neutral position so you can go back to idling with your exhaust. Now, with the panels back on again, you can see a much better look of the sensor. So there's the sensor there. When you press W, it goes to the left, which triggers the sensor, and then if you go reverse, it also triggers the sensor on that side there as well. Now, back to the actual tank tracks. The tank tracks work like a charm on this build. We can raise our plow up no problem, and that gives us a lot more ground clearance when we're trying to drive around. Now, this is all default tank tracks. I haven't changed the speed, I haven't changed the turning, I haven't changed the reverse. It is just what you get when you connect it like I did at the beginning. So these tracks are very impressive. They're really good for pretty much any terrain. You can see here, look at this. The tracks are going right over those rocks, no problem whatsoever. They are a little slippery, but other than that, look at that. We got up and over that, no problem whatsoever, and we can go up and over these moguls as well. The tank tracks, you know, they do appear stiff. Unfortunately, we don't have kind of like the individual suspension on each wheel to allow for the track to bend in ways that it might need to. But other than that, these are absolutely amazing. Now, I've got this bulldozer here, but nothing to really push or anything like that. So why don't I spawn in something that we can use this for? All right, so I've got a whole bunch of really cool rocks spawned in right here. So I'm gonna get rid of that right there. Okay, there we go. We have ourselves a few different rocks. Now, I guess I'm gonna try and hop into the bulldozer here, and we're gonna try and push them down off the side of that mountain. All right, so all we have to do is get into position. I guess I better lower the plow down just like so. Now, I also have that function that pushes the piston out, so I'm gonna do that, and that is really good for when you wanna get right up against the ground. Now, it does affect your maneuverability just a little bit. All right, here we go. I'm lined up. I'm gonna start pushing these rocks. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's clear this area. Push these rocks over the edge right there. Okay, perfect. Wow, we got quite a few of them in that one little run there. I see a few more though. Let's just kind of line ourselves up to that one right here. Okay, nice and easy. Got a few rocks right here. Let's clear the way. I must say, guys, this is a working bulldozer with tank tracks. All right, we got one little tiny stone left. Let's try and just grab it. Okay, there we go. Look at that. We got this one little rock. Looks kind of like a pebble. We're gonna lift it right over, and there we go. Nice little flip on it, too. So, guys, that is going to be the video for today. I sure hope you guys did enjoy this bulldozer, as well as the new tank track mod. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for the tank track mod, as well as for this bulldozer, so you guys can check it out. I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out. I wanted to add a whole bunch of details because a lot of the time my creations kind of lack some of the finer details, and this is a build that I wanted to get to you guys with the highest standard possible here, and it looks absolutely amazing. We've got the exhaust smoke, we got this working plow here, we got the tank tracks. It's just a beautiful creation. It's a really nice looking bulldozer, and I sure hope you guys enjoy it. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Endless Scrap Mechanic. If you did enjoy the video, then be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to tune in for some more Endless Scrap Mechanic. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be seeing you in the next one, so bye for now.